We are back in Casual Historic here, trying out the ring. Well, the ring tempts you. Running the Delighted Halfling in this deck, see where things go from here. Keep a good 7. And our following mulligans. I check out their very cool sleeves. We shock in and get Delighted Halfling on the field nice and early. They open with a red, so I'm thinking it could be some aggro based, maybe Gruul deck. So let's throw Bilbo down and see what happens. Immediately putting the ring on him, our opponent considers for a while, looks at our 2 cards and decides to kill Bilbo because of his ability, I guess, to make treasure. Fortunately, since he levels up our halfling on the way out, we just get the loot ability activated. And we find the Call of the Ring. Very nice. Opponent drops 3 mana but hasn't done anything yet. Oh, they play a Leaf Climber, which confuses me because I think this might be a budget deck. But we can ramp out an early Niv off the halfling. And we can set up a good line here with Frodo and Smeagol. We can start our whole plan of getting super tempted and stealing as many lands as possible. Our opponent drops an Ifrit Flame Spinner. And I'm terrified at this point because I'm not familiar with a lot of the alchemy cards, so I'm pretty sure there could be some crazy combo thing about to kill me. So I decided to start triggering some ring shenanigans here, so we'll use Frodo and Smeagol. And now let's just start looking through their deck. We see a few dragons, so it looks like it's Big Gruul Stompy. I hold back Niv because I'm still scared. I'm not sure what our opponent could have, but it's still worrying me. They play another creature I don't know of and gain life, but they now have Reach Blocker for Niv. We get another Call of the Ring here, so you know what, we'll just run one out just to guarantee an upkeep trigger and maybe draw some cards. I put Yorion into hand here for next turn so we can do an insane like blink shenanigans with the whole board. We'll get in again with the halfling here. We'll discard a second Call of the Ring here because double tempt would be nice, but you know, I'll be too tempted to pay 4 life and draw 2 cards. They go up to 2, 4, 6 mana and play a Doomscar Wanderer. I'm still very confused about this deck. I think this is a very low-key budget deck because I'm playing in the casual lines here. So the upkeep, we get tempted. I'm going to put it on Frodo so they are forced to block him. Steal some lands, and I see in that shenanigans there Sarkhan's Unsealing, which indicates to me this is basically a Big Gruul Stompy deck. And I get tempted and draw a card, of course. I play a Smeagol to Legend Rule it so I can trigger the Death trigger on the other Smeagol and get a Frodo trigger. Even though this is a Sarkhan Unsealing deck, I am still very concerned that they could kill me out of nowhere here, so I'm just playing very conservatively here. Gonna go to combat, attack with both Frodo and Niv here. We get a Gladriel, a bit late to the party, so we'll discard a second Frodo here. They have to block Frodo and they only have 1 viable creature to block with, which is their Flame Painter. Yes, I want to get rid of the Double Striker because I'm still scared that some crazy alchemy card could just kill me out of nowhere. So we'll trade, and at the end of the turn the ring makes him sacrifice that blocker. In our end step, we're going to use Yorion here. Get another ring activation. Well, another ring tempt, maybe? I'm not sure what to call this. Put it back on Frodo. Steal some more lands. We find ramp. So they seem to be a big stuff deck, but they didn't have... It's very strange. We'll blink away 2 of our creatures here. We'll get the Smeagol Death trigger now and the ETBs from Frodo. Another Niv trigger activation. We continue stealing lands, yeah. Now I'm pretty sure at this point my opponent is probably thinking that I am an absolute swear word for not trying to kill him as quick. But I am just genuinely concerned that they might just kill me out of nowhere. But they concede here. So I assume this must be a straight up Sarkhan's Unsealing deck. So we want hard removal because they could just play big things. I'm going to take out the Assemble the teams here. go down Gladriel, and I'm going to put Aragon in because I didn't put him in last video and I really want to play with this card. I should just run him in the main deck if I'm truly honest. We keep an okay hand here. We're still 2 colors down, but we still have time. We need blue and red. I'll choose to shock in here to hold up a Vanishing Verse, see what they play. They take a while and do nothing. We get our second Fable, which is a little awkward, but it can set us up good for next turn. So funny story, I'll say this as they cultivate. There's only 2 matches today because a second match will show you what's been happening when I play this deck in the casual queues. I might have to take this into ranked, although I did off camera try it in ranked and I got thoroughly pummeled by optimized alchemy decks like Wizards and Jund. So we'll see what the future of this holds. They throw out their Sarkhan's Unsealing, instead we'll just get Growth Spiral down. I choose to hold the Vanishing Verse here. I could cast it, but I want to use that on maybe a big dragon or something. I could use Niv here, but I'm still just scared about what could come out of the Sarkhan's Unsealing, so we'll just get rid of that. And then we'll pass, holding up a Vanishing Verse and an Assassin's Trophy. Either or, depending on what we need to answer. Opponent takes a minute to think about this. Runs out a Maniform Hellkite, which I was not familiar with, but I'm very, very cool. Must be the Mythic Dragon from that set, so we'll just Vanishing Verse it. It's very cool indeed. We can Fabled Passage, get another one of our basics out of our deck. And I think it's time for a reload and see what we find. We get an insane amount of cards here, so I'm going to throw out a Frodo here because I don't want to discard it down as much as possible. We'll put the ring on Niv here, and I'll get rid of a second Frodo. Our opponent has another Sarkhan's Unsealing, but we have drawn the the Rip Apart. We find a Fable, so we now have all of our basics out of our deck. So we'll Rip Apart, take out the Sarkhan's Unsealing. We'll play a Bilbo here. Again, I am just holding up a Vanishing Verse because I'm just literally genuinely worried about something alchemy related that might just straight up kill me. I should probably, well, I don't want to spend that much time learning this format. I'm literally playing these games for the novelty of playing the Lord of the Rings cards. Right, we attack in, we get a loot trigger. They have a Lightning Strike to kill off Frodo. We loot away the Supreme Verdict. We've got the superior board state here and a good timer on our hands. Opponent goes up to 7 mana, so I'm expecting a big boy. They play a Tectonic Giant. And use Broken Wings here to kill our Niv Mizzet. So in response, we'll use Vanishing Verse to kill the Tectonic Giant. Its trigger will put 3 damage on us. We lose our Niv. Find another land here. We'll drop the Call of the Ring now to start gaining some advantage. Bilbo will make us a treasure, so we'll make and put Yorion into hand. They play an Immortal Phoenix. Still wish we had the Vanishing Verse, but we don't. So consider options here. Getting Tended by the Ring, I'll draw a card. Play a land here, play a Smeagol. We can attack him with Bilbo because he can't be blocked. Loot away another land we find. Make him lose 3 life and get another treasure. So plan here is wait till the Phoenix attacks and then bounce it back to hand or destroy it. Depending on what we want to do here. Right, they go to combat, swing in, we'll Tyrant Scorn, bounce it back to hand. I'm going to hold on to the Assassin's Trophies. So Assassin's Trophy, their other blocker now, in their end step. Now in the upkeep we have 5, 6, 7, 8 damage currently on the table with what we got set up here. So our opponent concedes, puts us out. Good showing for the Halfling in game 1. Now this match is a prime example of what has been happening to me when I've been playing this deck. So I'm going to mulligan down. Very cool, very cool. Going to put Frodo at the bottom. And we have a life gain Soul Sisters deck, which I hugely respect because I used to play Soul Sisters in Modern back in the day. They drop a Daxus. So I'm going to play and get our Frodo down here because he's a free toughness blocker. Opponent gains 2 life, considers what they're going to do. Uses Ossification to take Frodo out of the way. And then they use a Defiant Strike. Very interesting choices here. So we'll get 3 mana and drop a Galadriel. So we just got a blocker again for the Daxos. They play a Faith Mender, so their life gain is now doubled. We'll drop a land here. Use a Growth Spiral, see what we find another Growth Spiral, put it into play tapped. Use another Growth Spiral, put another land into play. So we are stocked up and fully ramped here. Right, so they swing in, so we'll chomp. They gain more life, and they managed to kill our Galadriel, so we'll throw Niv down. We find perfect synergy here. So I'm going to hold back, wait till our opponent makes their move. They choose not to attack in here, which is a mistake. They know I have the board wipe. So I'm going to play into my advantage here. End of turn we get an island and use Tyrant Scorn to bounce our Niv back to hand to dodge this board wipe. So board wipe, they have no protection, they lose everything. We will run out of Smeagol here. We might as well burn these cards in our hand while we have an advantage. Our opponent has another Hollowed Priest. We'll use Rip Apart here, and what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to get Frodo back. So I can start getting my tempting shenanigans going. I'm going to put the ring temps on Frodo, mill them. Then I'm going to play my Niv Mizzet to reload here. We get some more cards, we have an insane hand going here. We'll keep milling them out, stealing their stuff. Play another Frodo here, and Legend Rule the Frodo to get 2 triggers and a Smeagol deck trigger. So just keep taking their lands. Right, end of turn. We still keep Smeagol the Ringbearer, get another land out. And this is where we go off the rails here because, like, I swear in the casual queues, 50% of my matches just end with people roping. Which I don't understand in casual. There's no rewards for winning or losing. So, I don't get it. And I know some people will say, oh man, your deck's probably, they don't consider it like a fun deck. I mean, obviously I get it. Stealing stuff from other people in the game is very annoying. But watch the rest of their deck here. We mill some pretty good nasty cards, so they are clearly building this deck up. But like I said, they've got to be ready to take it. So, you know what we got to do? We got to give them a salty sprinkly Oko. Try and bait them back in. And when that doesn't work, if it doesn't, we got to give them the Oko mwah to kiss them on their way and wish them luck at some other place. So since they're not playing, we're just going to have fun. Let's use Galadriel here. Put the ring tempt on Niv. Steal another one of their cards. Mill an Elish Norn and some toxic cards. Keep Galadriel triggering. Use Vanishing Verse. Use Bilbo here. Just keep going. Lay Down Arms, Adeline. They've got a very solid deck. And they have 44 life here, so they're not exactly dead. I guess they just didn't want to play this. I'm going to put the Vanishing Verse on top in case they're coming back. Put Yorion into hand here and just swing in. We'll get rid of the Colligan's Command. We hit them back down to 30, respectable life total. And they ultimately just quit out of it, which is a real shame because this deck has been really fun. But as you can see, they had a good deck. They just didn't get it drawn. Game 1 of a free set and they still salty quit. It's like in a fighting game, just quitting on round 1. Like, what the hell? Well, let's get ready and hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll go off with an Oko Smooch.